All right, welcome everyone. If you are on the phone, or I think we have a lot of video, but if anyone's on the phone, my name is Natalie Dale and I am the spokeswoman with Georgia Department of Transportation. And we want to welcome you here today on behalf of our board member, Stacy Key, who put together this wonderful event to meet our new district engineer. Meet the new district engineer. It sounds like a great game show. So we're going to meet the new district engineer. Wild applause. I wish we had prizes for all of you. We're glad you're with us today. We want to, as everyone has reminded you since the beginning of teleconferenced video chats, if you could please mute your line, whether you're on the phone or whether you're on the computer. We want to make sure that we can hear the speaker and not your dog or your kid. Both may interrupt my call, but we'll mute them for the rest. So we are going to meet today District Engineer for Metro Atlanta, Paul DeNard, someone I've had the pleasure of working with for quite a while. Y'all are very, very lucky. We're also going to hear from several key figures in transportation that are represented in addition to Paul. Of course, the first is our wonderful host, Miss Stacy Key, who represents the 5th Congressional District on the Georgia State Transportation Board. So thank you, Ms. Key, for getting us all together today. As you know, the board provides general oversight and guidance to GDOT, so we're very thankful for her. She has such a passion, not only for transportation, but also for her community, and so we're very lucky to have her as well. We'll also be hearing from Mike Dover, who's the Deputy Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Transportation, and we also have with us Kathy Zahel, former district engineer, now for District 7. Who did a wonderful job but has moved on to now serve us as the Director of Strategic Systems and Planning with GDOT's Planning Office. So we will hear from Mike and Kathy, so welcome to them as well. And so we have talked about muting phones. It's very quiet, so I know y'all took that very seriously. After we hear from everyone, we are going to have a brief Q&A session. So if you'll use the raise your hand function at the end in order to ask questions when we get to that point. If you're not familiar with Teams, it's the little smiley face who looks like he's high-fiving you. Click that to high-five me and I will make sure that you get to answer your question. And if you're on the phone, of course, just feel free to interrupt us and to ask your question. If you're on the phone, we do want you to make sure, please, to identify yourself so we know who has joined us today and who we're speaking with during that Q&A session. And as a note, this is a get to know you session with Paul, who you'll be working very closely with. So it's not technically intended to be a deep dive into projects in District 7. However, Paul is going to, I'm sure, provide you his direct contact information, and you'll have the ability day and night to ask Paul about all the projects. He's got 2 kids, he'll be up, don't worry. And so with that, I'll introduce Ms. Key, whose idea it was to host this session today for the benefit of everyone that she serves. What a wonderful idea. Ms. Key was elected to the State Transportation Board in 2013 and represents Georgia's 5th Congressional District, which includes, of course, portions of Clayton, DeKalb, and Fulton counties. She is a Leadership of Atlanta graduate and serves as a board member for the Georgia Chamber of Commerce and the Midtown Alliance. She was named one of the 100 influential women to know by Engineering Georgia magazine and has been named the top 25 women in power impacting diversity by Diversity Plus magazine, and is one of the Atlanta Business League's 100 top women of influence. And she deserves all of those accolades. She's also president and CEO of the Georgia Minority Supplier Development Council, Georgia's leading organization for supplier diversity and small business development. And of course, she represents everything transportation for the mighty 5th. And so the floor is yours. Take it away, Miss Stacy Key.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Natalie, for that great introduction. You do an awesome job in all that you do at GDOT. We truly appreciate you. And you got it right when you said the mighty 5th Congressional District. It is the best in the state. Yay! It is truly a privilege for me to serve as on the State Transportation Board representing the 5th Congressional District. Transportation, as all of you know, is central to everything we do as a nation, as a state, and even right now across the world. The COVID-19 pandemic has reminded us all how vital transportation is and how different a world it is when we're restricted by transportation. There's a great energy right now at both the state and federal level around improvements to our infrastructure, investments in our roads, highways, and bridges that is sorely needed and long overdue. I am grateful to the work that each of you do to make Georgia better, and I'd like to welcome our new district engineer. As many of you know, Paul is not new to the district. He was hand-trained and groomed by Kathy. He did an awesome, incredible job. And I was telling her earlier, he has spread his wings and he is flying from the nest. And so we are truly privileged and honored to have Paul continue as part of this team. He has done an outstanding job, and I am so excited in having him at this leadership role and working closely with him for the 5th Congressional District. So thank you all. I truly appreciate you and look forward to continued partnership with GDOT and each of you in the community.
Thank you so much, Ms. Key. We're going to build the anticipation to get to Paul. So, not yet. Now I'll introduce the Deputy Commissioner of the Georgia Department of Transportation, Mr. Mike Dover.
Hey, Mike.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. And thanks again, Ms. Key, for hosting this event. What a fantastic idea. And I'm sure we'll roll this out from your idea continually on here. So a little about me, I'm Deputy Commissioner for Georgia DOT, serving the role of helping to support the Commissioner and operations of the department. And in the role, I interact pretty much on a day-to-day basis with our district engineers. We have 6 other districts within the state. And on a daily basis, I have conversation with our districts to make sure that we all are meeting the operational needs of our transportation system throughout the state of Georgia. And we certainly recognize here at the department the importance of the Metro Atlanta District 7, what we refer it to. And not only is that important to the state of Georgia, but the country as well as the world. And you'll hear our commissioner refer to the Metro Atlanta District as a world-class district because Metro Atlanta is a world-class city. And Paul is now the leader of is now dubbed the world-class district engineer. So you'll hear our Commissioner Russell McMurray refer to District 7 as a world-class district and district engineer as a world-class district engineer. So, and it's important to the department that we strive to provide world-class service in and around metropolitan Atlanta. And I'm confident Paul's ability to be able to do that. So he has a great team of support for himself. It's not just one role for us at the department. We work through teamwork and accomplish things through teamwork. So Paul spent several years. We were talking earlier. Natalie had mentioned Paul's service here on the management floor of the department. He has a lot of time here understanding those priorities. So looking forward in Paul's new role as district engineer for Metro Atlanta. Natalie, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much. The anticipation continues. The excitement builds. We're almost there. I would like to introduce you to the former district engineer for District 7, still with the department, serving the state, but you've probably worked with her very much. So I'd love to hear from her, Miss Kathy Zahel.
Thank you so much, Natalie. And thank you to those of you who are on the call. It was my distinct pleasure to serve all of you in my role as district engineer for 6 years. I look forward to continuing to serve you in my role as deputy director for strategic and systems planning. So, you know, I'm not gone, and I can assure you that you are in great hands. I've known for at least 14 years now that Paul is talent. He embodies exactly what Georgia Department of Transportation needs in an employee and what you need as your district engineer. I had served on a committee to do some recruitment for Department of Transportation ranging from 14 to 16 years ago. And I met Paul at one of the student recruitment events. And I learned later his eyes were on the pretty girl from HR who was with me then, and he hardly even remembers me. But I did snag him as quickly as I could that day, brought him into traffic operations, and have been working with him off and on ever since. And in these last 6 years as district engineer, he was a huge part of our success as a team. And I'm very proud that he earned the spot of district engineer and is able to follow me because he was my assistant and trusted confidant with all things. He stood in my stead, probably with many of you, in important meetings, and I know he's going to continue to serve you well. So I'm going to hand it back to Natalie so you can get to the much anticipated world-class district engineer.
I am going to let Ms. Key do the honors.
Okay, so with that, I'd like to introduce the new District 7 engineer, Mr. Paul DeNard.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope y'all can hear me. Can you hear me? All right, wonderful. Well, I'm Paul DeNard, and thank you so much for the opportunity, Ms. Key, to get on the ground and actually start what's going to, or continue what has been vital connections and communications and relationships that we have to foster the growth and the success of a successful transportation system here in the Metro Atlanta district. Trust me, if it's not for these partnerships, where would we be? So I really do appreciate the opportunity for the introduction. So I'll just jump to it. I actually have in pure engineering form, I have a PowerPoint that will help you kind of guide through a little bit or guide my time here. So let me pull this up briefly. Let me know if you can see it. Can y'all see that? We good to go?
We can see.
That's good.
I'll be like Kurt. You like to say amen or give me some sort of response. Anyway, just a little bit about me. I'm originally from Maryland and grew up in the DC metro area, which is one of the most congested areas in this country, if you've ever visited there. But I've been in Georgia for the last 14 years, where I began my career here at the Department of Transportation, Georgia. And I graduated from North Carolina State University, Wolfpack. Here's our little emblem down there in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I have some previous experience, DOT experience there in North Carolina. I started my career in traffic operations, and you'll see on my signature, it's PE for professional engineer and PTOE, which is professional traffic operations engineer. And I've actually had a passion for traffic operations and just transportation in general since I was young. I have a passion specifically for safety, and I have a passion specifically for operations growing up in the DC area with all that congestion. Particularly because I have a lot of close friends and family members who've been impacted from issues that we see every day: highway incidents, crashes, fatal crashes on the roadway. And I was actually I actually almost lost my life when I was young in a car accident, surprisingly on my mom's wedding day when she was remarried. That was one of the incidents that kind of marked my life and solidified my work.
Representative Sheila Jones
is now exiting.
So while in traffic ops, I was a program manager for our operational improvement program, which really helped to install quick fix solutions that address congestion management around the region. And I was participating in statewide policy for traffic signal and driveway permits. So you get a lot of concerns and issues about those. I was influential in some of the policy behind that. In 2015, I went on to work for our chief engineer, Meg Purple, and the rest of our executive team there at headquarters at GDOT. One Georgia Center, and I primarily worked in the implementation of our Transportation Funding Act and the engineering policy and project development behind that. In late 2016, I transitioned to our district region as our district traffic engineer and was responsible for permitting, addressing safety and operational inquiries, and managed the district response for huge events like the Super Bowl. And I'm sure y'all remember that, very successful. And then developed the traffic control for the I-85 bridge incident. So that was a big incident that we all felt. I was right there, you all were right there in the middle and affected somehow. That was a pretty significant experience. Most recently, I was our district pre-construction engineer and the assistant district engineer, where I coordinated the district activities for all major projects, from idea or concept idea all the way to when we were letting the plans. So very excited about that. As district engineer, my vision for this district is for us, for our team here at GDOT, here at the Metro District, to be a world-class district, because we are serving a world-class region. We are home to some of the largest and most successful industries. We're home to the largest airport. We're blessed to live in an area that has many major events and has a lot of diverse populations, urban, rural, all kinds of different things. And I want to be here to serve. Our team here at the district wants to be here to serve our constituents, serve you all, have those connections with governments. We want to keep our roadways clean and smooth and address issues as they arise. I'll tell you, there's, out of the folks here on the phone, I can think about issues that we've already handled and that we've have issues that are ongoing that we still need to finish. But we're here to serve you. We're here to get the traveling public from point A to point B. So with that, I just wanted to talk through while we had the opportunity, talk through some of the key things around our district. Our area office, our district is split into 3 areas. I wanted to put the names and phone numbers of our area offices because these folks are our leadership teams on the area level. They deal with our contractors for ongoing construction projects. And they see when you all forward those issues like potholes, maintenance issues, different things like that, I forward them to these folks. And we together as a team handle and get the crews out there and make sure they're addressed. So our Area 1 office covers DeKalb, Rockdale, City of Atlanta. Our Area 2 office covers the northern part of our district in Cobb and Fulton, North Fulton. And then our Area 3 covers College Park, East Point, Douglas County, Clayton County, and the South Fulton cities. And then I've got some key contacts here for the district offices that receive a lot of the attention. Our traffic operations office, Justin Hatch, our utilities office, Sean Pringle, and then our local government coordinator who's responsible for a lot of the local grants, the LMIG funding that goes up to resurface a lot of the local roads, Chartre Kent. So contact these folks if you've got any specific questions, or contact me and I'll make sure that your inquiry gets to the right person. And then I have this slide here that talks about our frequently requested resources. I wanted to take the opportunity just so that you know, if you've heard it already from me, then it's not new news to you. If this is the first time, then these are some of the things that we hear about most frequently. Mowing and litter pickup, clean and green is the goal for us. This is what we have. Every state route is mowed, and we have a litter pickup contract that gets out there every 45 days. There's a cycle. We make sure that cycle is on our public website. We're doing a revamp of that website so that it can be easily accessed by anyone. And for our interstates, we know since the volume of traffic, we have those on a 30-day cycle. And you can access our website to see if your state route or your interstate is being addressed or when it has last been addressed. Pavement condition concerns, potholes, different things like that. We keep track of them. We have field crews who go out and do surveying and look at the conditions, but feel free to call us if you run into any issues or your constituents run into any issues on the state route system. And then this is most important, GDOT partners with our local jurisdictions, our local cities on routine maintenance. So things like cutting trees back or sidewalk issues and all that. If it's located in a city, we partner with the city on getting those issues addressed. So that's, if you haven't heard it before, that's something that we usually routinely do. Landscaping and the roadside enhancement grants and wildflower program, I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but we do have programs for that. That we point our local governments and our entities to when they have concerns or issues about beautifications. And speaking of partnerships, we are happy to partner with our local CIDs for beautifying any of our interchanges. We give them permits, and oftentimes many of those partners at the CIDs, they'll say 30 days is too infrequent, or 45 days is too infrequent. We want to come out and do it a little bit more often. And certainly we offer permits for that to enhance the area and enhance the interchanges or wherever it may be. So that's something that we're always happy to take a look at the district. And then of course, traffic signal safety operations concerns. Any of those studies and requests we review here at our district office, and some of them turn into projects, some of them turn into maintenance work requests. And also on our home webpage, dot.ga.gov, there's a contact us portion of that site, and your constituent can actually go in, fill that out, be very specific with their concern or issue, and then it comes directly to us here at the district, and it's all written down. So I just wanted to provide you guys some clear ways and some clear avenues and some frequently asked questions or frequently requested resources here, and get us off to a really good start being a world-class district here in Metro Atlanta. This is just a little bit of data about our district here. We've got 5 congressional districts, but we know which one is the busiest. The mighty big, I'll tell you that much. We've got the 1,700 interstate lane miles just within our district, and then 2,300 state route lane miles. And then of particular interest, we have 6 of the 11 MMIP projects as we seek to become a world-class region. Construction is going to pick up in these next few years, and I definitely want to be here to support. GDOT is here to support, get the word out through our communications resources, and our team is ready to respond as we enter into this phase of getting our major mobility projects on the ground and going through contracting. So with that, I really do appreciate the opportunity to let me see how to close this out. I really do appreciate the opportunity to introduce myself, introduce our team. It is a teamwork effort. We have a strong team here in District 7, and we're ready to serve. Whether it's any new inquiries or existing ones that are still on the books, hopefully we'll get those taken care of in a timely fashion moving forward. So I have nothing else except for questions, answers, hopefully.
I will take it from you, Paul. Thank you so much. As you can tell, with just the team that's here speaking with Paul on Paul's behalf and Paul's introduction of himself, we are all here to serve you. So we want to make that very clear. I believe it's best said, teamwork makes the dream work. And so I know Paul takes that philosophy very seriously as far as relationship building and working together. So Paul, we are very excited. That being said, if anyone has questions, we're going to move to that Q&A segment. If you will tap the happy man with the high five, the third icon from the left, and I will hopefully catch you and call on you to ask a question. If you're on the phone, if you'll let us cycle through these questions first, and then we will call on you. Do we have Jeff Rader? Rader, did I say that correctly? Yes. All right. You're up.
Thanks very much, and I really appreciate not only that Board Member Key has put together this event, but that the department has responded so vigorously to her suggestion. I think this is a great idea, and building the relationship between the district engineer, the staff of GDOT, and the local elected officials that serve often as a liaison between our stakeholders and the department is really helpful to us in being able to meet people's expectations. So thanks very much, Stacy, for doing this. I really think that it's a great idea, and that I hope that over time, perhaps we can continue to use particularly these efficient methods such as the Teams meeting to get folks together to better understand perhaps new programs. We'll soon have a federal reauthorization coming up. I know that y'all are going to be big players in not only making that happen, but also in pushing these programs down to localities. So it may be that, you know, a whole series of outreach and seminars would be useful going forward. And so thanks very much for beginning that process. So with that said, obviously, District 7 is the most urbanized district in the state. And not only is it urban, but it is intensively urbanized. And in many cases, very difficult situations for GDOT and local project sponsors to be able to do work to improve the transportation system. You know, potentially inadequate rights of way, major impacts on the built environment, impacts on natural systems such as the watersheds. Those types of things are much easier to address in a standard way in rural areas where you have more land and less development. But in District 7, often there are, you know, there are a lot of choices that have to be made. And I wanted to know that with your focus on safety, Mr. DeNard, you know, there are some emerging trends in the region. Atlanta has adopted a Vision Zero parameter. We also are looking for traffic safety. Obviously, pedestrians are much more at risk in these urban areas. And then on the other hand, so, you know, the priorities are a little bit more intensive on certain areas of the range. And then on the other hand, many of the conditions require variances from potential, you know, standards of operation, that type of thing. So what I was hoping you could do is speak a little bit about what your attitude and policy is going to be on issues like, you know, Vision Zero, which is, again, a emerging theme, particularly among the locals. And then on the other hand, looking at design variances, exceptions, that type of a thing, looking at them on a more of a corridor basis and trying to really meet the demands of an urban region like this with perhaps some of the flexibility that's necessary in order to meet all the needs.
Okay. So Vision Zero and a lot of our safety initiatives come from our State Traffic Operations Office, and they set the tone, if you will, for our response and how we deal with safety and by the tone, I mean through our policies, different things like that. Because when you talk about Vision Zero, my understanding is, you know, it's not just, you know, the 5 E's or whatever it is, but, you know, you're changing and you're dealing with the policies, you're dealing with things, with kind of how wide sidewalks are going to be to accommodate pedestrians. You're talking about, you know, bike lane, different types of design configurations and considerations. In terms of my stance, I'm always looking for ways to improve safety. I'm always looking looking for how we can design to accommodate the pedestrian. How can we have actually the department has a complete streets policy that every single project has to adhere to, and if it varies from that complete streets policy, then there is a justification that's needed on why we aren't going to accommodate that particular provision for complete streets. So in terms of those, the position that I'm taking is more so we need to pursue safety. We need to pursue a design principles and things like that that are in accordance to our complete streets policy. And then we need to take our cues from the Federal Highway Administration, our design guidance and our design policy office to those newer techniques as they're approved and as we get them in our new policy. Now, from a permitting standpoint, which is a whole nother issue that, you and I have had some issues and some things, some conversations and things like that on. We at the district, we're always looking to try to figure out how we can make sure we get the safe situation for not just the pedestrian or the vehicle, but also the pedestrian, the cyclist, different things like that. I think what we often run into, and I'll make this my last point, is that on state routes, we always have to consider the diversity of traffic that's going to be flowing. So, I'll tell you the classic instance is, do we put a decel lane in to accommodate a tractor trailer who may be turning into that gas station, or do we omit the decel lane, to potentially create an environment where vehicles are slower or drive at a slower pace? I'll tell you, at the department, we're going to try to figure out how we can come to a happy median or a balance between those two. Because, if we sacrifice safety for one at the account of others, I think you'll run into the issues and it will be a lose-lose situation. The goal is for our engineers here in our district is to come to that median and get all of our stakeholders on board to do just that. What's the safest for users who will be using it?
Thanks.
Do you have any other questions? Anyone on the phone? Hearing no questions from the, oh, we do. Nicole Hall, the floor is yours.
Hi there. Congratulations, Paul. It's good to see you. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Stacy. It's just good to see everybody. Really, the question that I had was the slide that had all the people I need to contact, because I will contact you, but since I don't want to contact Kathy and Paul, I was like, can you put that slide back up so I can go ahead and get a snapshot of who I need to call. I just want to say thanks to all the GDOT people for, on the behalf of the West End CID, we are about to start the installation of our RBC grant project, I-20. We just had a really great call today with all of the Atlanta University Center presidents, letting them know that it's happening. So there's some great things coming down in the West End, and this is a great gateway project. So we are so appreciative, and just wanted to say thank you. Paul has had to hear me a lot. Thank you, Stacy. We just really appreciate it, and I'm just excited for you, Paul. So with that, you can send me that slide, whatever you want to do, just so I can have the people I need to call and not bother you so much.
All right, is there anything else? Again, just because we're gonna sign off, that doesn't mean anything. You've got numbers, you've got emails, the department is here for you. So this isn't the end. This is just until our next email. So does anyone have any further questions for Paul? Paul, do you have a question?
I have more of a comment. Please call me. Okay, I please don't. Just because I'm giving you more contacts, but please contact me as well. You know, I definitely want to make sure your issues don't go to the bottom of the stack. You know, I want to make sure that we're being as responsive as possible. That's one of the things that we talked about on my first day. My first day as district engineer with my leadership team. One of our core values is responsiveness. So, you know, I'll tell you, we're going to do the best we can, because don't forget that we're the busiest. I feel like we're the busiest district in the state, but we're going to do absolutely our level best to respond to your concerns. So please reach out.
Right, one last call. All right, well, it was a pleasure. Thank you to everyone who spoke today. Thank you for everyone who came today. It is just as important that you are here to be part of this process as it is for us to provide this opportunity. If you weren't here, then we don't get as much out of it. Of course, we recorded this today, so those who could not be with us today, we hope that you've enjoyed watching this at a different time and taking advantage of this. And again, please reach out if there are any questions. And that being said, I hope everyone has a wonderful day.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Stay healthy and safe.